Hey guys, my name is Mason Lewis. I am making this video so that I could talk about my mom and I could talk about the importance of her soul and her higher self and pertaining as to why she's even here, why any of us really exist, why we came here to experience this game. So I just want to make a warning before we delve into the subject that what I'm about to talk about is for fully aware people who keep bias out of their mind and throw away the ego. Because the ego is what tries to rationalize things and tries to compartmentalize things and to bring things to the mind to make it easier for us to comprehend. So what I'm about to say in this coming video, or in this video, try to push the ego out of the way so that you can judge with no bias. So first things first, I want to talk about Aklea Mae. And Aklea Mae is a super consciousness, pretty much, but spread out to what is to my awareness two beings. One of the beings is my mother, and the other being is Aklea Mae. There may be many more, but these are the two that are brought into my current awareness. So Aklea Mae came here to Earth to adjust the frequencies of the planet. The reason she has done this is because in past lives before, she has created galaxies and planets, and she is well in tune with her body and with her soul to be able to manipulate frequencies of different planets to create and deconstruct matter. So she came here to adjust the frequencies back, to help adjust the frequencies back to Earth's original state. So how Aklea Mae came into my awareness was when I did the Akashic records for my mom, and I saw her as this gigantic being with her hands over the planet, manipulating the frequencies as my mom sleeps. So after this record session, months later, I went into an attuning, which is also known by us as meditation, to connect with my higher self, Foh'Theim. And that day, I wasn't expecting to really experience anything. I was just going with no expectations as normal. But this time around, my mom was actually curious as to who her higher self is. So I went in to ask Foh'Theim and see what he could do. So I asked Foh'Theim, and lo and behold, to my right, a orb went through the wall and went into me and Foh'Theim's circle we had. Then this orb manifested into this being, and this being was an elegant, almost looked like a being that transcended all physicality, and she had hair that was almost dreads looking with jewelry, same as Foh'Theim, but her face, her bone structure was different. It was thinner and larger skull, not similar to Foh'Theim's. She introduced to me and said that she missed me. And when she said that, she was talking not only to me but to Foh'Theim. After this, she grabbed my entire consciousness. She told me that she was going to bring me to her first memories as a soul. After doing so, I was enveloped by darkness and went into this void of nothingness where there was only just black, where black didn't even exist. And it was just no colors, no light, no people, no souls. It was just me. And I was viewing from her perspective. So I saw myself as this singularity. And looking outwards, you could imagine a stream of light exiting, but also entering at the same time. And no matter which way you view this light, it will look like the light is emitting from all directions. It's hard to explain because this is not a three-dimensional shape. It is a way, way higher dimensional shape that we can't comprehend. But only I was able to see for a short moment because of Aklea Mae. So this light was her. Not only was it her, but it was me. Not only was it me, but it was you. Because we all originate from Source, this was all the shared memory that we all have. If you look far enough into our soul journey. So this light was looking outwards for no amount of time, but also an infinite amount of time, and she was creating gases, she was creating small stars, she was creating fire, she was creating clouds, and everything she had created. Eventually, she got bored. After she created these things, she wanted to have different perspectives of herself. In doing so with this single thought, this is when the Big Bang occurred. So I saw the light face inwards, and immediately this gigantic explosion happened, and all that was created is. And what was achieved was different perspectives of one another. And this is where Aklea Mae told me that she has lived through a countless amount of universes. She has seen universes expand and decompress like a breathing lung. And she has seen all of good happen and all of bad happen. And she has experienced anything that you could imagine, no matter how good or how bad. She's experienced all things. And I asked her jokingly if she was God, because this is the story of Source. And Aklea Mae responded to me, yes, and so are you. She then went on to explaining how there needs to be balance, and she told me how all of the different experiments that she took place in, and how there are zero mistakes, how all things that may appear to be mistakes are in actuality just lessons for you to learn. For every person who kills you, there's a lesson to learn, not only from you, but from them. And when the roles are reversed, it's the same exact thing. Say whenever you are talking angrily to another person, it's almost pointless because that person is you. So you're just yelling at yourself for emotional reasons and nothing else. So this is something to think about whenever you are cursing somebody out on the road, or you're angry at your wife, or you're angry at your brother. Just take a step back and realize they have a purpose, and that purpose is to give you a certain perspective on life so that you can go through life and learn lessons as time goes through. Because as Aklea Mae explained to me, the whole purpose of all things is simply to exist. Other than that, that is still even ego-based. The real purpose is that there is no purpose. We exist only to exist, but we give it meaning by saying that there are lessons. But to the universe, you exist because. So this is why I was saying you need to be a little bit spiritually advanced to comprehend what is happening, because if you were not, you would think, then what's the point of anything? If there is no point, why don't I just kill myself right now? But you came here to experience a certain set amount of things, and when those lessons are learned or experienced, your soul has no more purpose of existing in this body, in which case it will find ways to go into the next incarnation, or just into the spiritual realm. So Aklea Mae after telling me a few of these things, she told me the importance of light and dark. And she has done experiments with galaxies where, for instance, one galaxy, she created massive, massive planets. Planets the size of about 400 of our suns. And these planets, she experimented with them to see if life can inhabit. But the what we would call the Van Allen belt and the magnetic field of the planets was far too large and was unable to have the conscious awareness to create life on it. And although material was plentiful, life was unable to sustain itself because of the sheer magnitude of the planet. And this was a big life lesson for her, because although she was saddened for the planet, but she was also happy at the same time, because this was a lesson that she could learn and grow from, and although it was sad, she can grow from it. After this, she told me the galaxy she recently left from. And this galaxy, I believe it was SC300. And I'm only saying that going based off of my memories, but this galaxy, the name doesn't matter, okay? But she experimented with what we would call light beings, like light celestials or dark celestials. So I'm just gonna call them celestials, but there are masters that watch over each galaxy, as well as each planet, as well as each star, as well as each person and cell, and anything that has a consciousness. There is this light and dark. In this galaxy, she experimented with 4 light celestials and 4 dark celestials. And these entities or beings that were watching over the galaxy worked hand in hand with each other to help beings living in the galaxy have experiences. And the light overburdened and overpowered the dark, because since we know the light always wins eventually, the light ascended far too quickly and returned to the ninth dimensional plane where source is far too quickly. And Aklea Mae, from her perspective, there are 9 dimensions. But from others' perspective, there may be 12 or 13 or 14 or 15. It doesn't matter. And that, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because all dimensions integrate into one gradient file. And we only separate it because our 3D minds need to compartmentalize ideas into subsections so that we can comprehend it at a fuller and more understandable way, which is completely fine. But in reality, it's just one dimension. And that one dimension, newsflash, is I am, is all things present in one moment. So jumping back to the galaxy real quick, sorry, I went off on a tangent. This experiment was to see what it would be like with 4 celestials of both light and dark, and the light overpowered the dark. So this galaxy was formed with 4 light celestials watching over the galaxy and 8 dark celestials watching over the galaxy above them, or what from our 3D perspective would be above them. And this is how she showed me. And what this allows is for there to be more experiences. And this was a Aklea Mae brought in to this galaxy. So it started off with just light, and this was during the period of the Lyra existence, and where everything was happy, and the Lyrans were a little naive because they had no concept of evil or dark or negative. And this was on its way to ascension level of what many galaxies before have experienced. And what Aklea Mae brought to the table was the dark and the importance of this balance. And after that, this is when the galaxy started to experience more of the dark entities, which is where supposedly the reptilians and the came from. So this was a story a long time ago where the reptilians were banished into our universe and set into the Draco constellation. So this was around the same time these darker celestials entered into the picture. So what this caused was conflict and lessons, conflict in which turned into lessons, which are necessary for our spiritual growth. Because, like I said before, the only purpose for existence is simply to experience, whether it be good or bad in our mind. So Aklea Mae then told me that these 4 beings and 4 light beings and 8 dark beings was the epitome of balance when it comes to managing a galaxy. And with my planet Ma'ama, I said this before, but there are 4 light beings and 4 dark beings for a smaller planet that are able to push against each other and have this balance as well. So after all of these visions that Aklea Mae showed me, she showed me her sanctuary, and she wanted me to not share many details about this sanctuary, but it is a sanctuary in which is very dear to her, and it is a place where my mom will return to. So it's very important that whatever I say next is thought about. So this sanctuary is, just imagine this white ship that is floating in somewhere, and on this ship that is massive, you see Aklea Mae at the edge of a corner with her hands up. So just imagine an alien with her hands up, and in between her hands appears a ship, and this ship is this white orb, luminescent, almost you can just touch right through it, you can just phase right through it, and it's not even full matter, but it's an integration of matter. And what's important to Aklea Mae is that balance of everything. So this goes even into her shipbuilding capabilities. And with all of her creating these ships is like creating with the hand of God. So the technology is not even technology anymore. It is natural, and this is the most advanced anything could get, to my awareness at least. And what these ships are able to do is that they're able to jump from our universe to another universe with ease. It's like it's always teeter-tottering on a single rope, and at will it's able to flip on the other side of the rope and exists there. So this is where her technology, if you can even call it that, is different from normal ships. And I noticed that Foh'Theim has the same technology. That's why he's able to do so well in battle. So I asked Aklea Mae this as to why he has this, and she told me that she gave him the thought. It wasn't that she gave him the technology, she embedded this thought, and whenever he was ready, he could create his own version of it. And she has done the same for countless others. Others not based off of what she wants, but almost like the universe wants, if this makes sense. So this is knowledge that will be up for grabs when the time is right. But for Foh'Theim, the time was right, and this is how he's able to do so well in space combat and things like that. All in all, out of all of the lessons that Aklea Mae has taught me, it is that there is no such thing as being perfect. There's a lot of quote unquote mistakes that we have to make, and whenever you're going through your life, try to never view any mistakes or any wrongdoings that happen to you affect you so much that these mistakes and wrongdoings are there for you to grow from. They aren't barriers or blockages for you. They're something that you have to grab and dissect and pull apart and then integrate into your body so that your soul can learn from these lessons. So that way you don't go on this journey of continuing to experience these things presented to us as karma, when in actuality karma is just a construct of our own minds. All of this stuff, I hope you guys learned something from. If you have any type of questions, please put it in the comments. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys want to continue and stay up to date with all of this stuff that I'm bringing out. I'm 100% certain that I'll be talking about Aklea Mae more into the future. She still is able to guide me and Foh'Theim into whatever we're doing, and she's almost like a guardian angel, not for just me, but for you. So I love you guys, and I hope to talk to you soon, and bye. Peace.